Hi YouTube, it's Lily again, and I just wanted to talk about my stay at the hospital and everything that went into it. So I woke up, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning on Tuesday because I had to be at the hospital at 5:30 in the morning. It was about a 20 to 30 minute drive. Fortunately, it was so early that there was no traffic at all, which was great. So I woke up, straightened my hair because I knew that was probably gonna be the last time I could touch my hair for the next couple days, so I wanted it nice and straight. Straightened my hair, put on some clothes, and basically just boogied on over to the hospital. There really wasn't much else I could do. I'd packed the night before, and I was as ready as I would be. And I got to the hospital. My mom and my boyfriend went, and they were able to sit with me right up until I had to go down to like the ER where they would prep me with the anesthesiologist and the nurse and all of that. So they were with me for most of the time, which was it was really nice not being alone and just being inside my own head, freaking myself out right before surgery. But while I was down in front of the ER, they basically wheeled me to right in front of the room where the operating room was, and I met with the anesthesiologist, and he asked me, they all asked me the same exact questions, but he ended up asking me about nausea and everything, and I told him how the last time I had surgery, which was the Lapband 3 years ago, that I was very nauseous when I came out of the anesthesia, and that during the pre-admission testing they told me to mention that to him. So he ended up putting right like over here on my ear, behind my ear rather, this little sticker, and I guess it's an anti-nausea sort of motion sickness kind of prohibitor or something. I don't really know how it worked, but he told me to take it off the next morning. But then when I talked to the nurses, they said I could realistically just keep it on the whole stay and it would just help. And I feel like it definitely did because I only had to take anti-nausea medicine through my IV twice the whole time I was there, and once was like immediately after surgery, and the other time I think was like the night after surgery. And then after that, I really wasn't nauseous, which was really great. So I had the surgery. It was all successful. Everything went perfect. The surgeon wasn't worried about the scar tissue that had developed because I had a lap band. He said it was no real issue. I had a drain put in because there was scar tissue, so he was concerned of a potential complication of a leak when they attached the intestines to that part of the stomach that was my new pouch, because there was that scar tissue, of course, right where they connect the new pouch to the intestines. So I had a drain, and that freaked me out. Like I woke up and I see this drain coming out of me, and it's so gross because it's this tube coming from inside of you to outside of you, and there's like this blood looking stuff, which was told isn't really blood so much as it's just the fluids and I don't know, not infection, but just like the fluids and stuff that was around where they did the surgery mixed with a small amount of blood, and that's why it was kind of this pinkish red color. But I mean, I was looking at this drain, and I mean, I could see like, I don't know, blood clots or guts or whatever it was, but it was so gross. And every time they went to drain it out, and they would measure how much it was, like they'd take it and they'd squeeze it, and you get, and I would get so grossed out. I have to keep my eyes closed when they did it because it was just so disgusting to me. But the second day that I was at the hospital, they took it out, which was fantastic. No, I'm sorry. It was the third day. It was the day I was getting discharged that they finally took it out. The second morning they took out the catheter, which I was freaking out having catheter too. I don't like things that are inside me and then coming out of me, and then I can see things that were once inside me outside of me. I can't deal with that. The catheter thing was so gross, and I kept asking them like, "Can't you please just take it out? I'll pee on my own, I promise." But they wouldn't for at least the first day because they didn't think I would be able to get out of bed. But I proved them wrong. Um, by the time I think I was in recovery for like 3 or 4 hours after my 4 hour surgery. And then I finally went to my room. So I didn't get to my room till 4 o'clock in the afternoon from being at a anticipated surgery of 7:45 a.m. So it was really late. I felt really bad for my mom and boyfriend who literally sat around the hospital for 14 hours waiting for me to have the surgery, waiting for me to come out of it, waiting for me to recover, waiting to come and visit me and see me in my room. And they were there all day long. But I guess they just really love me. So anyways, about 4 p.m., I got to my room, And probably by 7 p.m., I was out of my bed and slowly walking around. I mean, it hurt like hell to get out of bed because there's no graceful way to get out of bed without using your core muscles, which are completely just destroyed after a laparoscopic surgery because they've had to cut through so many muscles. And for me, they had to literally cut into one of the muscles that the Lapband port was sewed into. So that kind of made it a little more painful on that one side. But I, pushed through it, and by day two, they took the catheter out. And the second they did, they asked me if I wanted a sponge bath. I was like, no, no, that's okay. I'll do it myself. Are you sure you can do it yourself? I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it myself because I don't want anybody getting up in my business. So I, took all of the face cloths and the little basin that they gave me, and I went to the bathroom that was in my room, and I washed up. They had the catheter out, so I said, you know what? Now's my chance to put some real clothes on, because that's another thing I hate. I hate Johnny's. So I put on my cute little fleecy pajamas that had my little morning coffee cups all over them, and I looked adorable, and I had like a tank top underneath the button-down fleece shirt. That way, the tubes and stuff could easily just come out from the sleeve of the tank top, and if they needed to get anything, I could just open up the button-down shirt. And I felt great. I had brought a pair of memory foam sandals with me instead of slippers. That way they had a little more traction, a thicker bottom. And I wore those to walk around. I was walking around all the time. Everybody was saying that it didn't look like I should even be in the hospital. It looked like nobody imagined that I had had surgery not even 24 hours before that because I was doing so well. And I really think it's a mind thing. I think that you get yourself as normal as you can by putting clothes on that you normally wear when you're not in the hospital having surgery, and you just try to comb your hair and make yourself feel good about yourself. You're just going to feel better. And that's what I did. I tried to make myself feel as close to as I normally feel outside of the hospital while I was in there. And I think it really worked because I was able to get up, and I mean, I felt great. Now, there was some trauma with the whole peeing right after surgery. Once they took the catheter out, they gave me like 8 hours. They're like, you're probably not gonna have to pee. You're completely empty because you had a catheter in. But soon you're gonna have to, and we want to measure it. So here's this thing called a hat, and you're gonna put it inside the toilet and pee into it. Well, it doesn't fit perfectly in the toilet. So when you sit down, your butt's like half on it, half off of it. You're too busy thinking about is it gonna go in, is it not? And with me, I have like a scared bladder, and I can't pee in a cup for the life of me. I mean, I've not gotten many jobs because I couldn't do a drug test because I get so in my own head about peeing in a cup. I get so nervous that I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm not a drug user. There's no reason why I can't pass a drug test, but I can't pee in a cup for the life of me. So I tried telling them that, and they got really mad for a while. So like I was freaking out, trying to pee in the stupid hat. So I take the hat out for 1 second, bam, peed perfectly, no problem. Like, okay, it's definitely a head thing. And I tried telling them that, and I had to explain it to five different nurses, a couple of the doctors that were on my surgeon's team, until they, really understood that I wasn't just giving them all a hard time. That I legitimately am like, look, I went through this when I had the lap band too. I can't pee in that damn hat. I don't know. Just take my word for it. I'll tell you if I'm peeing normally or if I'm not peeing enough, and I'll tell you what color it is, and I'll let you look in the toilet before I flush it. I'll do whatever you need, but I ain't peeing in that hat. So once they finally got over that, I mean, I was peeing just fine. Like I felt like normal. I didn't even feel like I couldn't pee. It was fine. And so they finally got over it and just accepted the fact that I wouldn't pee at all if they wanted me to pee in the hat. So I mean, it worked out for me because I ended up winning. I didn't have to pee in that damn hat. And that was basically the highlight of being in the hospital. I took the morning after my surgery. They brought me down like 7 a.m. and I took a swallow test. Had to, all right, right, how's this? Never swallowed anything after having surgery. So weak and nauseous and in pain, and they expect me to swallow this fizzy, disgusting tasting stuff, followed by barium to make sure I didn't have a leak. I thought I was gonna throw up all over the place. They like take a deep big sip, and I'm like, are you serious? I can take like a tiny little sip, but I ain't taking no big sip. I was like, I'm gonna die if I do. And uh and so I slowly did that. That took a while, but they found I had no leaks, and so I got the get go, or the go ahead rather, to start drinking liquids, and that was at 30 cc's an hour. So you know, it didn't even seem like I needed it. Like at first I was like, oh, 30 cc's, it's such a little amount, and then I realized how much harder it was to even get it down. But I'm running out of time, so comment, subscribe, and let me know any experiences you guys have had at the hospital, and I'll make another video talking a little bit more about it. Take care, guys. Bye.